Howdy everybody, good morning. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want that. One second, sorry. Oh, I'm sure the stream is bugging out. Let me make sure that everything is good. Let's quickly pause that. Play some Lensar music. Alright. And let me just... Cool. How are we? My chair is good. My chair is good. So I was just double checking the internet stuff. I've worked out I now need to stream like using my phone hotspot internet, because apparently the internet here at the office is like good internet, but I don't know, it just hates streaming for whatever reason. So just making sure that's all good. But yeah, it looks like it's all set up and all working now. All right, I was just testing. I'm actually just gonna stop this again. I was just seeing what this save file is. Yeah, I don't want to use this save file. I think I've got another one that I might use. Go do some playtesting of Cursed Dungeons today. So playtesting the Cursed Dungeons. I'll do a little bit of work on the enchantments as well. Yeah, basically just going to work on dungeons and like stuff to do with dungeons. Gonna do some fighting and show you a bunch of cool stuff that you haven't seen before. What's this test? I cycled through so many different testing save files, so I sort of don't remember. Because I'd prefer to do some of this testing like actually in like a proper save file, and see what that's like. It's been hanging out of your office yeah. Oh dude, it's just Australia. Like Australia's internet is just the worst. It is so bad. Hello Slider, how are you? Alright, let's get this loaded up. I'll see what the save file's like. If the save file is at a good point, then we'll just test from the save file. Otherwise, I'll just go directly into the scenes and sort of like not test through the game. Oh, this one. Interesting. I know this save file. Yeah, I'll use... Actually, did I hack in a bunch of armor at the end of this save file? I guess it doesn't really matter. No, we're good. Yeah, we're sweet with this save file. Yeah. Sweet. Alright, we're using this one. Let me just expand this out a little bit so you guys can see the game better. My camera's probably in like a bad, slightly bad position. Let me scale this up. A little bit. Am I on? I'm on 16 by 10. I'm on 16 by 9. A little bit further in. Still too big. Oh, this is so finicky. That's pretty good. I want to get as good as I can. Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like it's terrible having my camera up. I feel like it's terrible having my camera like blocking the hotbar and everything. Maybe I'll have my camera here. We're gonna try this out. I don't think I've ever had the chat and camera in this sort of setup before. We'll see what this is like. Alright. Cool. Oh man, it feels weird seeing myself down the bottom right. Just doesn't feel right. Okay, I've loaded up a previous save file, and I'm basically going to be testing out hardcore dungeons. I just wanted a save file that I had, like, didn't have too much stuff, you know, unlocked or anything. So I think it's pretty good. One of my screens is like flickering. That's weird. Let's see. Wait, maybe I'll have to wiggle my cord. We good? Yeah, okay, I think it stopped. Sure. Sure. Okay, so I'm gonna hack in some stuff, but I'm gonna try to keep it like relatively like, I don't know, non-hacked playthrough. Might as well just cap my frames to 60, there's no reason I need to be higher. Okay. Take me a second to get started here. We'll, okay, so I do have this dungeon. Cool. So I can just... Okay, so we can curse this dungeon straight away. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save. I'm gonna quickly save here. I'm gonna hack in some stuff. Ignore this. Just to set like a bed and stuff. This can be our little sleep shack. Okay, save the game. And then we're just going to keep going at these dungeons over and over. So I guess what I would like to test some of the enchantments today and like work on them. So I will do some playtesting, but also do like some actual development. So I'd like to test some enchantments, but I would also like to just do some playtesting of the hardcore dungeons. For example, the sort of the stuff that I have on me right now, I probably shouldn't be able to complete the hardcore dungeon. It should be, probably should be too difficult to do a hardcore dungeon with the current stuff that I've got. So let's test that theory, shall we? So let's kit out my loadout by a little bit. It sucks I did hack in all these items, but that's fine. And I'll just use some pumpkins and blueberries. Because I'm not really testing like anything else to do with it. I just want to be like, cool, I've got a hard steel sword, I've got basic armor, I got literally one armor piece. So let's curse the dungeon. Well, this is a placeholder, ignore the fact that it looks all basic. And let's see how difficult this is. From memory, I think I got through this cursed dungeon on stream before with a similar sort of setup, which means it's probably a little bit too easy. So we'll see. At the end of the day, I am the lead developer, so I'm going to be a bit better at combat than the average player because I played this 1 million times. Okay. Oh, I forgot my torch. Oh, I'm gonna kick because I think that hammer could be useful. Oh, I'm also playing. Whoops. I'm also. Oh, that's why. God damn it, the skill tree's all broken right now. Okay, I'm gonna have to play this with half health. No, I'm gonna have to hack in more health. That's insane. I can't play this with half health. Let's put it up to. That's. Oh, there we go. That was weird. Hello. Why is. What's going on? Okay, sure. Alright. Health's up to 90. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Let's see how difficult this is initially. It's a bit laggy and edited up, but we'll just deal with it. I'm gonna try to kill like most stuff. I won't like run through it or anything. It looks like Bloom isn't working. I've just realized. Like some of the image effects don't look like they're working correctly right now. Yeah, I'm definitely copying a lot of damage, which is good. You totally need armor to do one of these dungeons. That's cool. The backpacks currently the backpacks are limited to. Well, I might have turned down my game a little bit. The backpack starts, the current testing version, the backpack starts at 50. It goes 50, 75, 100, 150, 250, I think. And it ends at 250. So I want to get through this with no enchantments, or see how far I can get with no enchantments or anything. Like basically no armor. And then we'll go through again with enchantments and armor. So yeah, I'm overall copying a lot of damage, which is good. Like, I really shouldn't be able to get through this, so we'll see how far I can get through. The weapon switching build definitely is a really good tactic. Oh, I forgot we added in the second ability to the hard steel weapons. So previously hard steel just had one ability, but we've actually upgraded. So hard steel has a second ability now. So you actually get the double swipe of the sword in this hard steel sword, which definitely makes it way better. Okay. Also, just quick reminder, everything you're seeing, super early prototype. It's going to be better music, there's going to be better effects, and more enemies, and this and that, and all that sort of stuff. Oh, C's for the compendium, but it's sort of broken at the moment because we're remaking the skill tree currently. I also want to see how many of these enemies I can like easily skip, like here, for example. I think a little bit too easily skipped. That brazier there, that's like a new kind of brazier for these. I'll quickly show you how this works. I'm probably gonna die. You can light. Oh man, I'll try and do it. Oh, I just did it. So those braziers actually heal enemies. They're like dark braziers, and then when you extinguish them, they blow up and they like light everything on fire in a radius. So it's like they're sort of like, if you want to kill enemies around those braziers, you have to extinguish them. Otherwise, I'll just keep healing. Alright. Let's ditch them. Let's go up here. Eat some more blueberries. Oh, we've got one of these. Alright. I can already see a few things that I'm noticing. I think... Man, the hammer's hard to use. Oh, you just get damaged so much with a hammer. Oh. See, this could be a good fight. This area has the opportunity to have like an interesting fight because of that blockage there, and you run straight through, oh shit, and then like some egg sacs all spawn in here that sort of get you to do a U-turn and have to force to fight them. So we'll come back through here, we'll balance. I've already got some ideas in how we can rebalance a lot of these enemy layouts. So I think I'm gonna do another pass through this cave straight after this playthrough. And then we'll play through it again just with the basic weapons again. And then I'll play through it again with enchantments and see how much easier it gets. Because we're quite close to the end here now. Like, it's basically this one last sort of fight. And then we're at this end boss fight sort of thing. I guess another thing that comes to mind is I think this cave... I think there needs to be more constant tension. Like, for example, right now, we do actually have a system that spawns enemies, like, passively over time. I feel like I might have to turn that up for these, Why is none of my typing working? Like, Unity's just, like, lost it. Sure, okay, don't worry about that then. Yeah, we have, like, an enemy manager that spawns enemies over time. I've got a feeling I'm gonna have to turn that up for this cave. For, like, the hardcore version. Alright, let's start this little fight. Let's see how we go. I'm gonna go for a different tactic now. I'm just gonna try to kill these voids straight away. I'm just gonna ignore the egg sacs altogether. And just keep using my abilities on the voids. I feel like that's a tactic for this second version of the fight where there's more voids. Yeah, see? Now I feel like it's an easy fight. Now just chip away at these egg sacs. Definitely spamming my food a lot. Yeah, see, that fight wasn't anywhere near hard enough. Okay. Good to know. So now I can stop playing because we saved our file just before, remember. So, let's I'm gonna start a new play test notes thing. Let me bring open this. What's the date? It's the 1st. Yeah. What's that? Julian. And it's the 1st of the 8th. I can't see shit because of my mic. 2023. Okay. So, better fight in the one before end fight. End fight not hard enough. More constant tension and less quiet periods. I felt like I wanted more enemy diversity. The enemy diversity that was there, like, it wasn't really impactful. And I think that healing brazier, I feel like that healing brazier would be better in that fight before the end fight. Add healing brazier here. I feel like that would be cool because you're forced to actually, like, deal with that healing brazier because you got that rock blockage straight after it. Let's make these changes, see how difficult that is, and then we'll go from there. Other testers said the cursed dungeons were too easy. Yeah, at least definitely this one. So, like, because with all the cursed dungeons, let me open it up. When we made all the cursed dungeons, we actually made 3 levels. Like, we quite literally balanced 3 levels for every single cursed dungeon. And then when we basically just settled on level 2, being like the level that we picked, being like the main level that we use in the game. But yeah, I got a feeling level 2 is like slightly too easy. So it's like, because this area was more or less optional, right? Because I could really just walk straight through here, and there was no reason I really had to go down there. The only reason that you sort of want to go down here is because, like, there's a couple of stone nodes, but then there's barrels. There's like a fair few barrels, like, all throughout there. So if you want some extra scrap metal or sort of salvage metal, there's definitely a bit of a desire, but I don't know. I feel like it's not really worth it at the end of the day, just for a few barrels. We could leave it there, but maybe we sort of boost up the resources a little bit. I think what will be good is let's get a brazier, a dark brazier. So let's turn off level 0. And let's turn on our cursed level. Cool. And then we want a dark brazier. Duplicate that, please. I think my Unity's like broken or something. What's going on? I can't type. Is this a thing that anyone knows of? Like, do I have like a thing on my keyboard? Can't. Do I really have to Google this right now? Can't type anywhere Unity. Have I clicked something I don't know about? Oh, I think it's literally a Unity. I think I've got a weird Unity bug now that makes me not type it. Like, just typing doesn't work. Well, that's fun. Okay, I'll have to quickly restart Unity. Alright, looks like we're restarting, people. Come on. You shut down yet? Alright, cool. I'm gonna open it back up. The wall on the stairs you can roll around as well. Yeah. Does your keyboard have different language? No, it doesn't. I think I think I've had this like once or twice before. I think it's just a weird Unity bug. That's alright. But yeah, like the current, if there's any like alpha testers watching that have access to the alpha build, the current state of all of the corrupt caves, corrupt dungeons, is basically we've done like an initial draft layout for every single dungeon. Some of them have like things like red boxes and stuff everywhere where we're like indicating where we want to make changes and stuff like that. So they are like really like a draft layout. And overall, like they should just all be like hard, but they shouldn't feel like polished or like perfect, or they shouldn't feel really well balanced or like a, I don't know, like a good finished experience. They should just be like, oh, this is just like hard, and that's sort of it. And then now, like what I'm up to now is sort of getting to the point where I can like go back. I need to go back through them and start to really polish them and like refine the experiences. Yeah, see, now I can select stuff. Just a fun Unity bug. Cool. Good to know. Okay, so let's get our dark brazier. Let's duplicate that. Okay, so I think this could be an interesting fight, interesting little like prelude to the main fight. I don't know where this guy was when I went just before, because I did not see him. Interesting. So we're gonna put this brazier right in the middle and see what this is like. We've got 2 egg sacs. This void, what are you? Yeah, I guess it must have had, it would have had to have been here, I guess. I just really don't remember it. That's all. So like, there's these elite void lanes, and I want to like these guys. I want to balance these guys a little bit too, because they're sort of, yeah, not too impactful at the moment. I want to make them more impactful. So like another thing to remember is like, because this is a hardcore dungeon, but it's a hardcore dungeon for the very first dungeon. So it's like the void, like the lightning fish, like don't exist yet. They're not in this part of the game. The dozers that roll around and throw rocks at you don't exist yet. And then the void rats also don't exist yet. So I have sort of like a very limited palette for like enemies to pick from. Full from the ceiling. Yeah, I totally agree, Alan. That would be cool. That definitely would be cool. Yeah. For now, I'm just focusing on enemies and overall layout for this one. And then if we get more time, I'll be able to do like further like passes throughout all the dungeons to include more like interactable objects and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not really loving the layout for a lot of this cave. It just feels a bit messy. Like it feels a bit messy. Like all of these hardcore levels. Let's have a look at through some of the old enemy layouts that we did and see how I like them. I hate this shit. There we go. I don't know, it just felt a bit messy, that playthrough. It just felt like there was a bunch of enemies everywhere, but I feel like, oh, these empty, right. I feel like, I don't know, it wasn't very meaningful, a lot of the fights. I got like this thing with like my sort of combat design where I like everything to feel like these sort of like closed like situations. Like, for example, if I'm designing like the fights for this cave, it's like I don't want to feel like, oh, okay, so here's the dungeon, and all of this feels like you're just fighting, and it's all big fighting. It should be like, okay, this is this fight, and then after you finish that, then there's like a break period, and then after that, we go on to this other interesting fight that has a completely different tactic and a completely different set of like tools that you use, and then maybe there's another break period that's slightly bigger this time, and then we go to a different fight, you know, and it's just like they feel like their own little, like, maybe that's an optional fight there, like they feel like their own like segmented, like closed sort of areas with their own identities that you need to learn one by one. Because like overall the goal for Cursed Dungeons is that they're hard, but the difficulty doesn't necessarily come from only just being good at the game, or just get good. The difficulty comes from like learning the dungeon, right? So like when people first want to come through a Cursed Dungeon, they just sort of blaze through. They do like sort of basically what I just did, and you just charge forward and you just try to fight your way through everything, and then you basically just get punished. Like if you try and do that, then it's like you hit a wall and it's like, go back, like screw you, and you hit another wall and it's like, oh, go back, screw you, and like you're basically learning all of these sort of like pressure points throughout the dungeon. And then we basically want the person to die. And then after you die, you go, oh, okay, next time I go back in the dungeon, I know to not do that and do something else. And then you sort of keep going back and gaining more and more knowledge about further areas, and then using that knowledge to get through the dungeon. And it's not necessarily like just brute forcing your way through the dungeon with just like your epic skills in combat. You actually have to sort of learn about the fights and learn stuff about, like, there's basically there's ways to win the fights, and there's sort of like solutions that are based more on experience rather than like skill. That is a component that I want in all of these dungeons. I think is going to make them a lot more rewarding. It's very difficult to do that with such a limited palette of enemies and stuff for this first dungeon, because we really do have a limited palette. It's just like the void crabs, the voids, exact spawners, the voidlings, these little guys, and then we have the elite voidlings. But like I said, they're falling flat a little bit now. I want to do some rebalancing of them. The idea behind these elite voidlings is supposed to be, let me show you. I spelt it wrong. It's supposed to be like Minecraft baby zombies. Like that's what the elite voidlings should feel like. These little like cracked out crazy little Minecraft zombies that just like chase you and are super fast. Do you think an untargetable void creature? So like that's the thing. Like we actually have other elements that come into the later levels, but I'm just like not allowed to use them yet. I guess I could. Like a lot of that's just like our own. For example, I'll show you. I'll say that because we have some other stuff that I use later on in the dungeons. First dungeon is hard. Dark Forest 100. The desert one is hardcore. More or less, Eliza. Yeah, that's pretty much. I think our own balancing is basically like the cursed dungeon for the very first dungeon should be probably like the same difficulty as the last desert dungeon in like a normal mode. So there's sort of like overlap. It's like if these are all the dungeons as you go throughout the game, and then the hardcore mode would basically like sit exactly like that for the rest of the dungeons, and they sort of just like go like one big lineup. But so here's like do we have any? I thought we had some in this. Oh, I probably just got turned off. Yeah, so it's just like a work in progress asset. But we've got these things. we've got these things in the later dungeon levels, in the hard curse levels. So for example, you have to first take down these 2 void lightning fish, and then when you start mining this blockage, this thing is basically like shooting these homing projectiles that go up in the air and just like explode onto you and do like a lot of damage. So it's just like firing out projectiles the whole time. And then you got all these pack of little voidlings here too. And then the only way to destroy this thing is pickaxing it. So you have to sort of like pull yourself away from the fight and quickly pickaxe this like super annoying tower that keeps, it's sort of like a sentry gun that keeps shooting you. So like, you know, that's a new thing in some of the later cursed dungeons. And there's some other new elements as well that are not like, they're sort of like enemies, but they're like static and they don't move and they've got like slightly different mechanics. So like we could even try and introduce the player to one of them in the first dungeon. Maybe that would be more, I just feel like it's feeling a bit bland. And originally I wanted to still sort of ramp up the cursed mechanics to make it so like as you go throughout the later dungeons, like bits more, you know, of the cursed dungeon mechanics start to get drip fed in. However, I feel like it's still a little bit too basic, this first one. It is like what would instantly be an interesting fight. I said this last fight was a little too easy. If we just literally plonked one right in the middle, like that would be, give it a go. That would be quite interesting. It would be a massive pain in the ass. What is the health on these? 110. And the weakness is, yeah, strike. Yeah, we'll give that a go. Okay, I'll check some music on, by the way, while we're... Okay, so this fight's definitely going to be a little bit harder now. Oh, nothing with Coast Dungeons, by the way, you can't use braziers to heal. All the braziers are broken. I think just some void, like I think just like a pack, a good old pack of voidlings would be nice here. But then I'd like to do it in a way. If I go to all these voidlings here, to their idle, I'm not going to set them on roam, I'm going to set them to sentry. So they basically stay here looking, like waiting for the player. And then I can sort of just see what it feels like to sort of walk into this room and then you sort of like get the aggro of all the enemies and they all sort of conform around you. Because like this is one of those areas where I want there to again be like an oh shit moment and you die the first time you do it. And then you go, oh okay, next time I'm going to not just run in there and do something else. Oh, why does it keep rotating weird like that? We'll see. We'll see how the eyesights work. I don't know if I've got them drawn. I do. Yeah, okay, so it's pretty like, pretty much all of their eyesights all converge in the middle there. So if you run down here, you're going to catch all of their eyesights. Beautiful. We'll see, like, it's still a pretty easy fight, but this healing brazier makes things a bit difficult. Okay. The other thing I want to do is just generally... Do we have anything that just like calls an event when an object enables? Do we have that component built anywhere? I feel like we do. Visibility. Yeah, we do. Hell yeah. All I want to do is like when the hardcore mode enables. Yeah, okay, it's literally so simple. Yeah, okay. When the hardcore mode enables, I want it to change the so let's go into here. So like I'm gonna go into game manager. In here we have an enemy manager, and we have basically this like chase down enemy system that spawns enemies over like a tick. The chat is currently being blocked. Let's put you down there. Yeah, this like sort of spawns enemies at a tick. So what I'm gonna do is add a new one. Except let's make it like every like 5 to 10 seconds one spawns. We'll have a little spawn delay, 20 seconds, just to give you a little bit of time. So then 0, 1, 2, 3. Enemy manager 3. Let me also just double check that that also turns it on when we do the set enemy. Change spawn profile. Index. Oh, we're not. Right. We need to turn that off because we're actually going to be turning that on. Let me. So then we want to set whatever the current. Set old profile to false. Set new profile to true. Save that. That should fix that. Because that wouldn't have actually spawned enemies the way that we wanted. Okay, so now the passive enemies spawning is going to be a little bit higher. So basically the second, because when you go into a cave normally, like a voidling will actually spawn in the distance and start like hunting you down like once a minute. It's like this slow little like drip feed just to keep caves like a little bit more, or the dungeons a little bit more interesting. But then for this cursed dungeon, I made that that rate way quicker. So it's like every 5 to 10 seconds a voidling will spawn in somewhere and basically start hunting you down. And that will just keep this like sort of constant drip feed of enemies sort of like looking for you, which I think could just like keep the tension a little bit higher, because I had a bit too many points at that playthrough. Yeah, so I don't like all this. Like all these enemies are just a waste of space. I think it would be cool to... Oh, he's got a... We've got a bunch of double ups of enemies as well. That's no good. I think it would be really cool to get more of these crabs involved. So I don't like this. I think what I'm going to do is basically just... I want to try and simplify a lot of this. Let's sort of like bundle up those guys. I feel like that's just like a bit of a bad spot. I'm going to make it a little bit closer, sort of around here. Cool. So you go jump over the bridge and you're like, oh shit, there's enemies right there. Mix up the index. Oh, let me have a look. What did I do? I think I did 3, right? 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, that's. Oh, do I? Spell profile index. False. Correct. So we set the current profile index to false, or the current enemy matching the index, and then we reset the index. And then, yeah, and then we set it to true. Yeah, no, that should be good. You see, like, even like this one would be a perfect one. I feel like this would be a perfect area to introduce you to the elite guys. What I'm thinking is, like, what if... Oh, that'd be interesting. What if they're, like, here? Like, we put one here. What if we put a couple of elite voidlings on this bridge? So it's like the second you destroy this, they basically charge you. I'm gonna see what that's like. I'm gonna do 3, because 3 elite voidlings is probably gonna be a bit difficult. One thing I'm really quickly I'm gonna save. I'm gonna quickly go to a different scene, like a little testing scene we have. I want to just do some more testing of the elite voidlings. I feel like they're not doing it for me at the moment. So we'll save this. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this hardcore dungeon. I don't even think we have... Oh yeah, cool. So I just need to add one more to the count. So there's a voidling. Go to you. Let's go make. I'm just making a new entry for this. For the elite voidlings. I'll just give it a random photo. It can be a backpack, so I can just tell what it is. Hey mate, when would patch 0.2 hit the beta branch? So the beta version is literally, well, I think it's probably going to be too close to get it out this afternoon. But it'll be in like the next 24 to 48 hours when we get the beta version out. I just want to refine some more of this cursed dungeon stuff. We fixed a bunch of bugs yesterday and over the weekend. But I just want to be as sort of, even though it is a beta and like a very early beta, I still want to be as stable as possible. So we just want to make sure some stuff is a little bit better built before we give it out to the beta testers. Voidling elite, cool. All right, let's just quickly test these voidlings, the elite voidlings. So it's like, yeah, in the cursed dungeons, you basically get elite enemies, right? So they're like they're like basically red versions of the normal enemies, and they're just harder than usual. The elite voidlings supposed to be like small Minecraft zombies, but I feel like they're just falling a bit short at the moment. Oh, there's our backpack. Let's go back to our backpack. There we go. And we'll just spawn one. Ah. So yeah, you can see they're super quick. They just like run like crazy. They're actually a slight bit faster. So I think one thing we could instantly do is you can see that he's always like throwing off his jump even though he's not in range. That's because I actually sort of made it like that on purpose, so they feel a bit more chaotic. But I think it'd be better if it's a little bit more accurate at landing that attack. Because like what I want this elite voidling to feel like is like this little annoying like kid hyped up on sugar that won't leave you alone, that keeps just like gnawing at your ankles. It should be like this like really annoying enemy that makes it really difficult to fight any other enemies the second one of these guys is in the room. Okay, so we've got its... So it's jump attack. Yeah, you can see the jump attack has quite a long range here. So let's say we bring that into round 3. And change max buffer to 1. We could probably make it a bit wider, like 40. Okay. I'm gonna get a tiny movement speed boost. Tiny. Just such a tiny bit. Okay, and let's just see what that... Let's see how that jump... Ow. Wait, just leave me alone for a second, mate. Leave me alone. I need to heal up. Actually... I'm gonna put God mode on just so I don't accidentally die. Look at him go. It's definitely better, but yeah, it's still not quite. Just the jump is just so short. What if I should just change the actual like animation of the jump to be longer? It's just a bit of a crap jump. I think I've got an idea. I've got an idea. Jump. I'm gonna make a new attack just for the elites. Because they're so much smaller, the jump covers a lot less distance. It's pretty big. Speed. Could just make the range a tiny bit shorter. What is the hitbox that we're using for this jump attack? Right. I feel like... Why is that such a weird... like, angle? Well, that's half of it, right? Why is the hitbox so strange? Okay, let's see what I made the range just a tiny bit shorter. Let's see if he hits me a bit more. He's still just missing. It's just such a weak jump. Oh, so close. I feel like the turning could be a bit better as well. Okay, before I forget too many of these changes, what did we change? The 0.6 to 0.5. So let's just quickly change it on the prefab before we forget. Oh, I made the angle bigger too. I made the angle to 40. And then we made the run speed a little bit bigger to 6.5. Cool. I want to up the angular speed a little bit. And acceleration just a bit. Okay. Hey, dude. Alright. We've got 2 sets of music playing. Let's see what that's like. I don't want to change too much on them. I just want to do some little tweaks. So then now let's go back into our scene here. I might as well save it. And I'll just see if there's any other little tweaks I want to do to this high court dungeon. Because I don't like changing too much at once. Prefer to sometimes do smaller changes. What's going on here? Move over. Oops. Put you up there. Okay, so this little fight, just to get you warmed up, you destroy that, and you got 3 elites coming at you. I've got these egg sacs, but they're just so easy to just run past. There is a void here. I think that's an interesting like opportunity for a void to sneak up on you, like sort of hide the void here, sort of jump ya. What's the... Okay, so then that brush does go through there. Good. But I'm gonna put the void on sentry because I'm not patrol sentry because I don't want it to actually move. I want to stay right here. So the second you run and get in its sight line, it's just like bazinga. These, I don't know about these egg sacs here. I guess I could occupy you, like you could walk out here, try to destroy them, and then this guy jumps you from behind, so maybe that would be a bit more interesting. This is just messy, this sort of... I don't like this very much. I think I'm just gonna like delete all of like the enemy layouts that I don't currently like, and then I would rather there be like sort of like nothing there. And then I'll add them back. I'll add in specific layouts that I want. Here's a little mining area. I think that's fine. Just like a bunch of like just some crabs and just some voidlings running around. Like it's a completely optional mining area that you really don't need to do. So this is pretty much all the same layout still. And we've got this one. This one was interesting because I could just completely just get across this fight. I wonder if there's a way... I'm just thinking, like, how can I make this area have, like, a solve? How can I make it have a bit more strategy? Because, like, the player... How do I, what the... Player enters from here. And then, basically, currently, you go through here. And then you go up there, and you exit through there. And it also is possible to do a little jump up there and then exit through there that way. And you can just completely just like dodge the fight. What we want is like you enter and then you see all the enemies here and you're like, screw that. So then you go around here. But then you need to get punished doing that. Like you should basically see the enemies and then go, I don't want to go there. I'm going to go around them. But then if you go this way, you get punished even further. Like something happens here that is like, screw you. And then you learn next time that there's like a better way through. Maybe there's like a little parkour jump to jump up there, or like maybe the best way is to go straight down into the enemies or something. I was wondering like how do I practically make that? Because one thing is like we just sort of get rid of this here, so you can't jump up, and then the only way to get up here is like through here somewhere. Because I guess what we want, right? I've got one idea. You enter the room, and then you go through here, and you think this is going to be your exit out, but this is broken, and you can't actually jump. You can't get up there, and then you sort of go, oh shit, and then you sort of bounce back here. And then you're sort of like wandering around, but like, how do I get up there? And then this time that you've wasted wandering around here, you've got 4 spawners that have all been spawning enemies. And then you've also got a healer brazier that's healing them, and then this just becomes like overwhelmingly difficult really quickly. So it's like if you like linger in this room for too long, it just becomes like really, really, really difficult. And then like the way to solve this is to just get through it as quick as possible. So then there must be like some sort of challenge, maybe like parkour or something where it's like maybe there's like, oh, you jump to there, to there, to there, to here. And then you quickly like, you know, walk in and go bloop, 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 and then you just skip the fight. But then like that, you have to like figure that out. Like that is like not obvious the first time that you get through. And then you have to actually like sort of fail once to sort of work that out. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna have to get these 3 foundations. These are gonna have to go into level 0. And then I'm also gonna need obviously gonna need like a little nav mesh obstacle here that can stop this now. Do I have any other nav mesh obstacles? No, I'll just make one. I'll chuck the music back on now. But yeah, this is what I'm saying, like where I want these fights to be not just difficult for the sake of being difficult. There needs to be some sort of learning experience here. It doesn't, like, some of them can just be difficult, and that's okay, but there should be like an element of every single fight in these, which you can become better if you've done it more than once. Like, you know some sort of information after completing it that you can use to your advantage. It's like a transparent red that I can use. Ugh. I'm sure I'll just use that. Oh, no, I'd really want something transparent. I'll just use like a water. Well, what's this, like a really shitty water? That one. Yeah, done. Cool. Set this to carve. There we go. Now we've got rid of our little nav mesh here. Because we still want enemies to get through there. Cool. I'm just doing this because we need it. You know, this is like the 1 cave for both like the normal and cursed level, so I need to make sure that it stays like that it works for both. So then in the normal level, it has the bridge there, but then in the cursed level, it has a nav mesh obstacle here that because it's like the 1 consistent navigation path for like all of the cave levels. So I need to keep that in mind. I don't love the navigation down here. It's a bit gross. I've got an idea actually. What I might do is rebake the nav mesh, and I'll do it. So if I turn back on this, I'll rebake the nav mesh, but I'll just turn off these poles when I do it, so none of that influences the nav mesh. So then we get some nice traversable terrain down there. See? Beautiful. That's nice and clean. Okay, so now I could just turn these foundation poles back on. All is good. Actually might move them a little bit while I'm at it. And then we could turn off level 0, turn on level 1, and then cool, we just need to, it's just digging in a little bit, you can see there, we just need to get rid of that. That's pretty good. Alright, cool. So, you can't make this jump anymore. So how do you make the jump? So this is where I'm going to have to, first off, just going to turn off the inventory that's been left on. Oh no, it's just on for the scene, right. You see the elite void things look cool there, like glowing red. I'll just do a little half-half. That sort of sucks. I'll do it this way. Okay. Because I need to just see what I'm looking at when I do the parkour for this area. That's why a lot of the time it's hard to do it when I'm streaming, but a lot of the time I've got this whole game view on my other screen, and it makes it a lot easier because I need to see the exact camera. Oh, what I'll also do is just turn on this extra light that just lets me see everything a little bit better. So yeah, player's gonna go down through here. You see some egg sacs and you're like, nope. And you go down through here. So I think we want to reduce all friction through this path. For in order to this work properly, we basically want to make sure that the player goes down through here with like 0 friction. And it just seems like the really easy, obvious way. So even just like little things like this having like a step, like that's a bit of friction that we potentially don't want. So just rate doing that. Potentially even giving it a bit of a rotation just so it seems a little bit more like a proper ramp that you're like, oh yeah, I want to use that ramp. Just rotate it a little bit. What if I rotate this as well just a little bit, get it sort of ramping down. Cool. That looks good. Like it's just like a bit more of a usable space. I am going to add one more though. I'm going to just like make it even nicer to go down. Just by sort of padding out this area a little bit. Damn, it's really hard to work with such a small screen like this. I don't like how it looks with the lighting. I'm gonna just leave it like that for now. Alrighty. What's up, Lewis? A lot of hmms in chat. Oh. Look, if you want to keep spamming, it's a good way to not spam anything anymore. All right, we've got a timeout for Lewis. Alrighty. So what's our way of getting across? What do we think? I think some like easy parkour. What I'm thinking is we could do... I could add another foundation here, right? And then we have some stairs that lead up to it. So this is sort of like a lift-off point. So like, I don't like putting something right in the middle of this fight. Like, for example, let's say you put something here, like a little platform that sticks up. So I don't like that because then it's like, it sort of blocks your view a little bit when you're fighting behind it. It would have to be quite small. Because what I was thinking is like, what if we have it so it's like, yeah, there's like a another staircase here. And then maybe that wraps around. And there's like a broken staircase here with like a little platform. Maybe, well, maybe it's like a platform here. So what I was thinking, it's like, yeah, you come up here, you do a jump roll to there, you do a jump roll to there, and then you go up around there. And like, just like, that's the way through. And then there's like all these enemies building up and everything around it. I'll see what that feels like. Let's give it a go. We're just gonna steal this. I never even realized the planks are the wrong color for this. Like all the wood is the wrong color too. Give me these stairs. Middle bear stones, so if they want to skip the fight, they have to click to put it. How about making the middle one build out of stone? So if they want to skip the fight, they have to click to put resources. What's it? Oh, like the repairable, like stone bridge. Is that what you mean? Yeah, I think having more of those repairable objects in here would be a good idea. Like, because that's like the #1 way to make it so you sort of like learn something new, right? Like you get down here, and then there's like a repairable bridge that you didn't prepare for. Like you don't have enough stone to do it. And you're like, oh shit, you know? And then it's like, maybe you'd have to do like a big loop at the cave trying to get stone everywhere and you end up dying. You're like, okay, well next time I'm coming down with enough stone so that doesn't happen again. Yeah, maybe that'd be a good way to do it. Real, like, it's like so finicky, but it's like real little things like this that make a difference in level design. For example, like this. Like I purposely angled the planks going this way because like the lines of action are pointing this direction if the planks are all pointing this way. And then I also purposely made this edge stick out a little bit from the edge beside it so it looks like this is like a takeoff point. And it's just like really, really like tiny little details, but like the tiny little details of the planks pointing this way and then this being a little bit further out just sort of implicitly tell the person, oh yeah, like I wonder if I could jump off here. You know, it's like there's tiny little things that just like make a difference. But like most people think like, yeah, it's just wood, like what, you know, there's no different. But it just has this like very like subtle psychological effect. Yeah, I don't know if the angles and everything are actually gonna line up, to be honest. I feel like, because like for this to work, what's our, let me just get a cube in here. Because right there, like 6 units is pretty much the limit you can have for a jump roll. So let's make it, let's say we go 5. So we do a 5-unit jump roll, and then we've got, no, actually let's add that back. And we've got another 5-unit jump roll. And then it'll have to be, if you want to keep it, otherwise if we want to shift the angle to go sideways. Be something like this. And then this. Because we have to keep it at 45 degrees for the WASDers out there. And I think the way that I'll do this as well is I would like make this platform a little bit, like not the way that I'm doing it now. This is sort of like a cheap and nasty way. But I would give this platform a straight edge here because I don't like it actually just being sort of weird. Like it'd be not that trash, but it'd be something sort of like that that sort of conforms to the angle a little bit. I don't know how I feel about it. Like it's although I'm gonna polish it up. Like it's obviously like a pretty clear like sort of jump, which is good. I don't mind it. I think it's some better execution. I think with some better execution, I like it. Also, I don't like how these X-axes are all behind it, right? They should all be in front of it. Like the information that is sort of important to you shouldn't be obscured by anything. What would actually be slightly more interesting is if we put some barrels and stuff on the edges, like purposely right on the edges. So then when you go to mine them, the stuff falls off, and then you're like, oh shit, I have to like go down there now and like get the stuff. I sort of purposely do that in different areas throughout the game. Sometimes. That's why originally these barrels were right on the edge here. It's like I could move these like on the edge here. So it's like you mine them and then you're like, oh no, I'm gonna have to go back down to get the crap. I don't like the rocks. Yeah, I feel like it's just a bit too cluttered down here. I think maybe that's why I'm sort of not feeling bits and pieces of it. I just want to open up this space a little bit more. It feels like a bit claustrophobic. I feel like there's probably an exact back there. So this one, maybe we move that back here. Because like we need enough egg sacs here where you would actually get like sort of overwhelmed, like where it is like an amount in which it is difficult to like it's almost impossible to get through this area if you let them build up too much. That would be the point, right? So like now they're at least a bit more front facing and a bit more. I don't like this rock being here now because now it's sort of like a way to you just jump on the rock and get up. Maybe that in itself is fine though, because if you could jump on that rock you would have had to have gone down here, which is just like harder than going up there. So maybe like you deserve to get up if you went on this rock. I'm actually gonna make it wider for that very reason, just so it actually is a bit more of like a proper platform you could stand on. I'll make it a tiny bit lower. Sort of rotate it like this, it's a bit more flat on the top. There you go. And we'll put a crate here on the edge. So hopefully when you do a little jump, you like clip the crate and then it sort of breaks and it just is like a nice little moment. Doesn't that feel like it might obscure the fighting when you fall down? Yeah, well like that was my main problem. Like is that it would obscure the fighting when you fall down. But I guess the whole point is that like you don't want to do this fight. Like the point of this fight is to not do the fight, if that makes sense. And that's why I'm trying to move everything so it's all in front of this. Obviously I'm gonna have to move that brazier. But I want it so there's basically like not really any important information about the fight that are obscured behind these things. And all of the like the fight happens in sort of like this sort of front area, and then I guess these areas that actually do have free camera like sort of movement, you can see everything. But yeah, that was the one thing I was worried about. Like this definitely can get smaller. For example, if I was to so basically pull it straight from the edge here. then go across. That could get that small. Pull that straight from the edge there. I don't love what I'm doing right now. This is just like so gross and like lazy. But you know, it's all good. Oh, it's that one that needs to change. Whoop. Okay, I'm gonna have to give this a test in a minute because I don't wanna spend all this time doing this and then like fundamentally it sucks. So there's gonna have to be a staircase leading up here. I'm really just like hodgepodging all these planks and all this sort of stuff together. I'll have to properly do it afterwards because this is really, really gross. Sure, whatever. Okay. Do we have colliders on this stuff? Yeah. Do you have a collider? Okay, let's just quickly test to see if this is actually going to work at all. The other thing too I haven't checked is the lighting. Because we also need to get rid of this this brazier has to move, right? So let's bring this back down here. Because at least the brazier can help us with the light in this area. Like it can help sort of potentially just... I don't mind that because then it becomes sort of obvious what the solve is when you come down here. This is sort of lighting up the edges of these sort of foundations here, and you're like, oh right, I need to jump across there. But then when you're further up there, you don't see this, and it's less obvious. All right, I'll save this. Let's quickly see if this is going to work or not. I'll set this to 1. We'll pause that for a minute. Okay. So basically what I want is I want to come down here. I want to sort of enter this fight and run down here, and in the time it takes me to run down here, these egg stacks start to build up, and then just move the player straight down here, and then I basically have to do the parkour, otherwise I am just going to get destroyed. Cool. So we come down here. I like that enemy being there. I think that was actually worked out perfect because that enemy pulled my attention a little bit. So I didn't even bother looking down to the right. Yeah, so now these enemies are pulling my attention. And I'm going, oh shit. Oh, whoops. What do we have here? We have some cliffs that have turned off. Are these set to static? Not. Okay, I think we just have a cliff that was marked as static that shouldn't be. Like, why did they all move? Like, what? Oh, are these in... Oh, are these in the right level? Oh yeah, level 1. Oh yeah, I'm batching static. Oh, why is it such a batching static? No. No batching static. Go away. Cool. Don't forget to rebake. Yes, that is very good that you reminded me of that. And then I have to rebake it while I've got the level 0 objects turned on and not the level 1 objects. And then I've got to remember to turn off these poles quickly. Oh, this is not... Man, why are there all these rocks on batching static? Just gonna make sure nothing is on batching static. God, this scene is so messy. It's so gross. That's fun. This. What are you doing? Are you on batching static? Ah, why is everything on batching? Everything has prefab overrides, setting it to batching static. That's what we don't want. We don't want these meshes to combine. Oh, great. We've got another fun person in chat. Ideas for interactive dungeon objects. Rotting human corpse for random gear or possible zombie. Oh yeah. Hidden lever, which opens secret passage. Giant Venus flytrap plants. Oh, I like the Venus flytrap. That's cool. That'd be so cool if, like, even just, like, that idea of a Venus flytrap, like, doesn't necessarily have to be a Venus flytrap, but, like, imagine there's, like, a tar pit or something, and then, like, you stand in it, and then you're sort of, like, rooted down, but then, like, while you're, like, rooted down and walking really slowly or, like, trapped momentarily, like, all these enemies are sort of, like, enclosing on you. Like, that in itself could just be really cool. Like, imagine, like, the whole floor of this is, like, sticky goo, you know, and then you learn, like, well, don't tread in the sticky goo. Okay. The one thing we're going to have to do, though, is because we want this to be like a surprise. Like what I was just talking about, this little area here. This has to be a surprise when you, for cursed mode, which means that this has to not be in this like this has to, yeah, exist. I guess these could exist the whole time. Yeah. Cool. Okay, well, let's let's rebake this now that we've set some stuff correctly. And why is this still being weird? Why is that such a not walkable? Interesting. Any other areas I want to fix up? I will do a proper rebake, but this is just for testing. I just want to make sure it's good enough for testing. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Clear, bake it again, and then we'll have another go at this. The lag is gone because I'm hotspotting my phone internet. It's so sad, but that's just the way it works, I guess. Walkable. You're walkable. You're walkable. You need to become walkable. Okay, one last bake. Cool. And then now we'll give this another test. Beautiful. Look at that. That's all the blue that we want to see. All right. Okay, let's do another test. So Let's go to dungeon level. Let's set, make sure you're level 1. Yep. Cool. Let's quickly run a save. I really like the lighting of this area now though, even just in the normal mode, with the normal brazier. Just looks pretty. Okay, let's see if this, this sort of little area is going to work out the way that we intended it to. So pause the game, let's move the player, because the player gets reset position to the start every time. So we just have to move it. I'm not testing this with a torch. The player's gonna have a torch. That's another thing you always have to account for, right? If you have a torch, that could light up certain things that you might not see if you don't have a torch. So let's quickly torch adventurer. Beautiful. All right, come down here. This enemy pulls my aggro, so that's really good. I like how that worked out. The other enemies didn't come up this time. So I'm coming down here. Oh no, can't do my usual thing. So now I'm sort of panicking. I actually am panicking right now. Okay, so let's go up here. Oh, so you can just make that from a normal jump? I feel like a roll jump you would almost go too far over. You would definitely need some sort of wall there to make sure you don't go down the gap. But yeah, like that's 100% the side. I don't know if that's too easy. I've just got this giant pack of healing voidlings running around now. None of them fell down. None of them fall down. Let's see if there's any other ways I can cheat my way. Man, it's like, I wonder if I can actually kill this pack. Oh. No, I can. Alright. I don't mind this. Like, this is just like one of the first fights, right? So it shouldn't be like insanely difficult. There is definitely a solve. If I can quickly, see if I can do this in time. Light everything on fire. That thins them out. Is there a way to, it'd be interesting, it'd be cool if there's a way to do that, like, if there's a little platform to stand on or something to do that better. I think I like that. I think I like that. I'm gonna keep it like it is for now. That's definitely a lot more interesting than what was there before. Like there's like a cool, interesting solve that sort of throws a bit of a spanner in the works. Yeah, I only just started sort of live streaming this probably like a couple of weeks ago, Ink Devil. But yeah, every Tuesday and Thursday, Australian time, which would be like Monday, Wednesday night for most of the rest of the world. Yeah, just working on Lens Island. Sometimes do it on Sundays at home as well. One thing I do think this would just make that a little bit bigger would definitely help with like overshooting that jump when you roll jump there a little bit. I'll quickly turn back on these poles. I'm totally gonna forget to do that. What's going on there? Why did these like move down? Oh no, the other things moved up. Okay. Oh, this has got some whack scale. Cool. Okay, so let's really quickly just like fix this stuff that we wanted to fix. I really don't like the, I need to come back here and sort of properly set all this up. But for now, I'm just going to do some like relatively gross fixes. I want there to be like a hard wall here that you can sort of bounce off of when you sort of jump here. I don't want there to be like any possible potential of you like falling down and getting annoyed. And then this is now going to have to go up against that wall. Check the music back on as well. Don't take any notes of the way that I'm like building out parts of this, because it's really messy and really gross, and I would never ever do this do stuff this way. It's just because I'm trying to quickly just get in like a little crap draft while I'm here. I also need these to be a darker color so they set apart a little bit better. Okay, that's okay-ish. I'm gonna have to clean up like colliders and all sorts of stuff, but there'll be a collision pass at the end that will sort all of that out. Ooh, wowza. Okay, let's maybe quickly just fix that collider, because that's pretty interesting. I don't want people to walk into there. I feel like it's going to lead to too many gross stuff. Oh, jeez. All these colliders are just like whack. Okay. A little worse than I thought. What are you doing? You doing whack stuff? Oh, no, you're fine. You're lucky. You doing whack stuff? Yep. I remember the colliders being like this when I was playing through the level. What the? Alright. That looks pretty good. He's wondering maybe, good morning, Wade. How are you? Someone's faced that problem. In build, I'm getting 30 frames on mobile after upgrading URP. Gig 14. URP is definitely like before. Like URP should actually have like higher performance than an inbuilt, like than the built-in render pipeline. It depends how you use it. So you probably have some whack graphics settings, like your default pipeline settings with your things like your shadow resolution and lighting settings, all that sort of stuff is probably not very optimal. But if you optimize those settings, it will definitely be quicker than the built-in render pipeline. You just have to like properly go through all the settings. Just a simple like upgrade won't just like instantly make everything better for free. Okay. That's pretty good, that area. Oh, whoops, let's turn on the level 1 objects. Come through here. This is a little bit messy, this area, but yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna test that out. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna test out some enchantments while I do my next dungeon test. I'll do it right from the start again. And I'll just drag an enchantment table here and just like quickly test out some stuff. I'm just gonna start testing the enchantments like one by one and just like really slowly sort of go through. I think you're gonna work. Make sure this is set to 1, yep. Turn this off because it'll be music in the game. I finished the 3rd island the other day, but looking forward to the update. But I'll probably make a new save. Yeah, I honestly recommend making a new save for the new update. You don't have to, you won't be forced to, but I do recommend it. Because the whole start of the game is redone. It's like a lot more fun, better. This has been an... Oh, that's literally just like a... There we go. Cool. So let's drag in... Oh, do you not have a... Whoops. Let's go to our database. The weapon database. Does anything have... Where's the hard steel sword? There we go. Max runes. That's just 1. I should be able to... I might as well get some armor while I'm at it too. This will give us some extra critical hit chance. I don't need my sword. Oh, sorry, my torch. I don't have the torch unlocked. Let's quickly unlock it. Tools. Oh, actually, I need to go back in the database. Unlock that. Why isn't the runes working? Charges. Maybe that's it. So where's the hard steel sword? Do I have to set that to 1? Oh, whoops, I accidentally threw out my sword. I literally forget. Or is it on here that I gotta set it? I literally forget where we have the stuff that sets how many things, how many enchantments an item could take. It's Cheddar online. He is. Let's send Cheddar a message. He's a developer that made this system. Yo, how do I set the number of... Cheddar will come to our rescue in a second here. I thought it was this value here. I'll just send that to him. Okay, I've been advised of a dev command. Oh, let's get rid of that. That might be able to help me out. Update. Update sockets. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that worked. Beautiful. Alright. I need to get more... I need to get more health because I have like none. For the starting health. So let's just put this up to 90. 90. Okay, we're all geared up for battle. Stop swinging your sword. Get my torch. Give myself some crappy food. Alright. I just want to test enchantments one at a time. What do I... Oh, I've actually got a null error. Damn it. Oh, does it not have one? Gotcha. Will it still let me drag it? Oh, okay, perfect. Increases the amount of items. Okay, half the UI is broken, but let's just ignore that. I forget what enchantment's what. Go in there. I think I'd like to try the chain lightning enchantment. Heals the player, no. Increases weapon damage, the cost of attack speed. Ignite. Electric chain, here we go. Cool. Let me just make sure that this is still... This may not be currently working. This enchantment. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. What are the settings? Oh, it's not called chain lightning anymore. It's called like electric or something. Oh, it helps if I spelled it correctly. Ugh, what do they call it? Like where? I forget where even where the runes are even located. What's the name of a different rune? Lifesteal. Enchantment. Oh, they have enchantments in front of them. Duh. Electrify. Oh, right, no, I got the wrong one. Electrify effect, here we go. Proc chance 0.6. Yeah. Okay. Short chain. Oh. So let's make the short chain is just 1. And then the long chain. So this would be like the early version of Electrify. This would be like the sort of step 1. And the damage will do like 10. And we'll force recoil. And I guess a crit. Actually, no. Okay, perfect. Alright, let's quickly let's give this a go. See what this is like. We've got chain light, like the... I think the range is too long on it as well. Let's put that bound down to 9. I'll just unequip the sword just to make sure that those prefab changes work. I feel like it might still be a bit too long. Make you 6. It shouldn't be game changing. This like this version of it. It's also going to look all boring and not have any like sound or anything. So ignore that. Cool. Okay, there's all my little elite voidlings. Oh, what the hell? They're like joined together. Okay, well that fell flat. That fell very flat. Oh, those chains are way too long. Oh, I don't mind this fight. Let's go back to chain lightning. I feel like it's, yeah, it's still too long though. Just make it 5. I think I might have to unequip the sword and equip it back for it to like update. I feel like the distance mustn't be working. Oh man, this is a really OP ability though. It's doing so much damage to the enemies. Because the distance is like gigantic. But like, let's set it to 2. Test on these guys. Ah, my sword. I don't have it. Yeah, see, obviously that's not 2. It like goes all the way across the screen. I can imagine once we set up all like the effects, like the lighting and like the sounds and everything, and it really feels like it's going like and like zapping enemies. It'll feel really good. This enchantment. I think with this, yeah, like. Range, chain delay left. I don't know if there's something I'm missing with the chain delay. I'll keep using it for a little bit. Let's just see how the rest of this cave feels anyway. Even though it's going to be like a bit easy with this nuts chain lightning. So I don't think our change that we did before to the game match with the enemy spawning is working. Oh no, it is. Next spawn, 300. Huh. It is not working. Let's just quickly do a little thing there. Alright, I'm gonna do the oh, I don't. That guy had some weird positioning. I wonder how easy this fight will be with chain lightning. Let's actually try to kill these guys, because it's just going to spread to all the egg sacs and everything. Like, even though they're healing from the brazier, it sort of just doesn't matter. Chain lightning is definitely a lot of fun. I'm just imagining what's going to be like once we do all the effects for it. Oh, whoops. I messed that up. Oh, my roll's on cooldown, that's why. I was like, why did I just miss that roll twice in a row? I actually really like that, because like everyone's going to fail that jump. Like everyone's going to do that same thing. By the time they do that second jump, their roll's going to be off cooldown and they're going to miss it every time. That's good. I like that a lot. Yeah, chain lightning's super OP with its current settings. That's okay. See, this is a bit like, this, you know, it's a bit boring now, this section. So we definitely need some more tension through here. I think some more enemies building up on the other side when I'm destroying that would be interesting. I just want to try to see how if I can skip this at all, like what this next fight is like. They worked out pretty well the way that they all. Yeah, see, even this is good. Like, this is a good like learning experience, right? Because I was like, oh, I can just run past all those enemies, but then they do build up and actually make this fight harder. Oh. Came in clutch with the brazier light. Brazier light can actually end up working out really well if you time it right. This armor's doing pretty well for me right now too. It's blocking a lot of damage. I guess the other thing I sort of forgot is I've also got extra crit chance on all my armor. I've got plus 20% crit chance in total from all these armor pieces. So that definitely has helped this run. That was good. That previous fight was good. I liked how that felt. This just feels like super easy. Just like chomping through egg sacs and voidlings is like not at all a problem now with this current setup that I've got. Okay, so now I've got this projectile spawner in this fight, and let's see what this feels like now. Oh, jeez. Okay, it is definitely interesting. Because like you're trying to destroy these egg sacs, but then these projectiles are like raining down from above. So a hammer's definitely a good thing for this fight, because the hammer can help destroy this, because it does like mining damage. Oh, jeez. There we go, we got it. I like that. I like how a hammer is like a really good tool to take down all those obelisks. Okay, we did it. Oh, no, we didn't. No, we did it. Easy. GG. Yeah, I think something that I was going to mute that for a second. I think something... Where are you coming from? You little... There you go. I definitely really liked destroying that middle obelisk with the hammer. I think that is something that I'd like to like really play into a lot more in these fights. Is like a fight that is just like straight up really hard / impossible to do with a sword. But then you go like, aha, like use a hammer because that has striking like pickaxe damage. And then potentially vice versa. Because that like destroying that projectile spawner was easy with a hammer because I could just fire off my hammer abilities around it. But just using a sword would have been like impossible. Cool. Okay, this is definitely coming along well. So like we've definitely made some good progression. So I guess where we're currently at, right, is this fell flat. These guys sucked. We'll get rid of them for now. I would definitely love, yeah, like a big group of voidlings like busting through here. Just like an absurd amount of voidlings that are just like all ready to roll the second you get through here. Like I just think that in general could be a bit of fun. Let's see what that's like. Because it sort of lures you into a false insecurity here when it's very quiet. This worked out really well. I'm quite happy with this area. I think the fact that we get rid of this, you can't just skip through it. You have to do your parkour through. The fact that there's like your jump is purposely on cooldown, so you almost always miss this second jump and fall back down. I think overall this was like feeling nice. Like it's actually like solved in a bit of like a sort of like a puzzle or like something you can learn from this experience. This all sort of feels like nothing at the moment. Like this whole section here just sort of feels like nothing. But this felt good. I think this would feel good once, like with these extra voidlings. I'll have to test that though. I like the fact that there are just some sporadic enemies through here, because it makes you just want to charge down into here. Like you sort of go through here and you're like, oh, screw that, I'm just going straight down into here. And then you end up aggroing way more enemies and pulling them down into this fight. And then this fight, you have a blockage here, and then we added this healing brazier, so this fight ends up getting like exponentially more difficult if you just run through there, which I like really like that was the plan. So the plan worked out pretty well. Potentially we could even like double down on that a little bit more, so like I didn't pull enough enemies through, and we make it so you really got to like try to clear out these enemies and kill these first before you go down into there, and it really is sort of like two steps. Spear's my favorite. The spear's pretty good. The spears are pretty good. They're honestly arguably even better in this new update as well. Makes sense if the projectile spawner is super weak to bludgeon, strike, and shatters. Yeah, agreed. Even if like the projectile spawner's like and like sets off like a little bloody supernova, you know, that'd be cool. Highly cinematic. But yeah, it makes me think like there probably should be some other kind of like spawner or some other kind of like equivalent to this that you need like a spear or a sword for, that specifically won't work for bludgeon damage. But I really don't know what that is. Like some sort of soft fibrous thing. Like, yeah. Will there be a time rewards for finishing the dungeon? Not at the moment. That is something that would be really cool though. Like actual, yeah, like timed rewards. Probably that'd be like a future sort of thing, like the whole speed running mechanic. So I guess one thing that comes to mind is, for some reason, I just have like a yearning for just like a pit full of these crabs somewhere in this dungeon. I feel like this dungeon, this is an interesting fight. Like, I feel like we're sort of hitting the threshold of how many just like voidlings and voids and egg sacks we can just throw at people. And the fights do feel different enough. Like this fight, and this fight feel different enough, but I feel like I can't do any more of them. Like I've already hit the capacity for those kinds of fights, and I need to throw some different stuff. But like there's literally no areas to do like a void crab pit besides right at the start here, which isn't really meaningful. Yeah, so we've definitely got a bit to improve. This is a bit weak through here. We could just straight up destroy this bridge in the cursed dungeon. So then we force, like we don't even have this, like this is just all gone, and then you're forced to do this and then actually loop around and go this way. And then we could have some sort of like interesting fight here, potentially. Or maybe we have one of those projectile spawners up here that's like shooting down on you as you go this way. And then maybe like that projectile spawner up here is like a pretty easy to like get around one, right? Like you walk past and you're like, oh, that was weird, I'm just gonna get away from that. But then this one is basically just like advising the player that, oh, projectile spawners exist, this is a thing in the game, and when you encounter it again down here, now you know what it is, and you've actually been sort of exposed to it, and it's not like completely catching you off guard. Might be something we could do. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with how the second half is though. I think it's feeling pretty good. And also like that playtest that I just did was with hard steel weapons, a full set of armor, and chain lightning. Chain lightning's definitely broken, it seems, maybe. I'll really quickly test that again and see if there's something that like initializes on awake, and maybe it doesn't work if you change it at runtime. Let's quickly have a look. Play it again, and we'll chuck chain lightning on the sword again. Let's get my enchanting table. Piss off. This thing's hurting me. Oh, do I have chain lightning still on it? Oh, I do. Okay, apparently. I don't know if it's properly on it, because it's like... more things freaking... piss off. Okay. I'm just gonna disenchant this just to make sure that it properly works. Which is chain lightning. Yeah, cool. Oh, I need lightstone. Give. Oh, these bugs. I tell ya. Give me that. Come here. Do this. There's another bug. I don't care. I'm just gonna cop it. Okay. Now we've got chain lightning. I just started the jump. Okay, let's just quickly go through and just see if this chain lightning is working correctly now. Because I set the distance to be quite low. Oh, I think it is working. Yeah, that distance was low. Oh, I'm almost dead already. Okay, cool. It just doesn't work when we change it at runtime. That's fine. Now I know that. Just gonna give myself some food real quick. Some blueberries will be fine. I just want to test out a bit more this chain lightning now that it's working. Oh, sorry if the stream's super dark. It feels like the proc chance is really, really low. Currently, like it's barely firing off. Yeah, so I think when I was getting angry of it not working, I set the values to so low that it's not really firing off now. The only items in the game I can't store are baked goods and soups. I wish we have the pantry early before the update because... Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, the pantry is... It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Alright, I think... You know what, I'm going to go to the toilet because I need to go to the toilet really bad, but I don't want to actually end the stream yet. I'd like to work on these enchantments a little bit longer. So let me quickly go to the toilet. I'll be back in a second. And then we'll work on enchantments when I get back. Yo. Alright, we're back. We out here. Alright. I'm gonna go back into our enemy testing scene and let's test out these enchantments. Actually, I'll quickly fix this. Actually, I won't fix it. I'm just gonna comment it out. Cool. Yeah, well, I want to do a little balancing pass on some of it. So, like, where the enchantments are at now, basically enchantments are just like a bunch of random enchantments that we initially brainstormed, and we did like a very, very first like sort of pass at just like what they could be like, and they're sort of still in that stage where they are more or less just like testing draft enchantments. They're nothing too serious. So what I need to do is get them from that stage to like a finished stage. So that's what I'll start to do. I'll start to basically just like go through the enchantments again and start to sort of refine them a little bit, just like one by one. Okay. So we're gonna electrify. So we set the range to 4. Short chain to 2, long chain to 3. See what that's like. Where's the lightning from the void fish? Might steal the light settings from it. Let's see what that's like. I got a feeling we probably won't be able to do lights from the lightning, because if we add lights, it's going to get way too performance intensive. I'll leave it on. I'll just make it nighttime, because I want to see what the lightning actually looks like. Will there be opportunity to work on some above ground issues later in that stream? Maybe. Maybe, we'll see. I do definitely want to focus on enchanting and dungeons, so. One thing I might quickly have a look at is just before the sound. Yes, this actually doesn't have any sounds. Interesting. Just to quickly muck around and see what this is like. This on 3D. I think it's a bit too much. Well, maybe that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so how about we go? Try to work out the best way to do this. We'll put on a play sound clip. Lightning, we'll play it in 3D. We get weapon effects, bank. So I just want to quickly set up some sounds because I feel like it's just going to make such a big difference to the overall like vibe of the chain lightning. So let's go to my sound banks. Weapon effects. Let's add a sound. Chain lightning. Beautiful. It's like 20. Be 3D. Just put on linear. Beautiful. And then we'll put a bit of pitch randomization on it just to give it a little bit of funness. What does that sound? Oh, let's make it 2D. We'll do random, but it's allowed to repeat. They are very different sounds. It's good enough for now. It's good enough for now. I'll definitely have to change it at some point. So bold. This actually isn't the correct way to set this up. That's fine. Just ignore what I'm doing. Okay. I don't know if that's gonna work at runtime either. Because it didn't before, right? Okay, so let's get ignite. Oh, chain lightning's like sort of half on it. That's right. Electric. Will the game have a map editor allowing creation of custom new worlds? Not sure. Not sure. Not anytime soon. Yeah, fair bit of effort to set that up. What was the one before? Oh, it's lightning fish. Where's our voidling? Oh, did we like override our voidling? Oh, looks like we might have when we changed that stuff before. Ugh. Let me quickly. To counter voidling. Voidling, cool. Alright, let's spawn you guys. Interesting. Let's try that again. Like I'm gonna have to set the radius to a bigger number. Slightly bigger. I am liking how it's feeling though. Like it's cool. Where is this Electria? Electrify. Yeah, let's see what that's like. I'm also then going to test fire as well, the burning effect, after this. Oh, right, doesn't have any. I could just update it in Anvil, I guess. Good night, Eliza. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, screw it. We'll just test some void rats. I'm just gonna get destroyed by these void rats, that's all. Actually, I can test them from a safe distance. Oh man, God, their sound is really annoying. We're gonna have to change, update their sound. I'm gonna quickly write that down. Void rat sound, sounds super annoying. 3 AM. Jeez, Eliza, go to bed. Okay. Let's just fix this and turn it back to voidlings. Go into dev mode. These. So test ignite on one weapon, and then I'll get a claymore, why not? And then we'll test the electric and the claymore. Interesting. So it doesn't make, I feel like it doesn't really make a big difference to the voidlings, like the chain lightning. It definitely helps thin them out. Oh, like, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's try this burning. They're all just gonna light each other on fire. Like, let's see if I can just keep getting them to slowly die. Like, they're all just lighting each other on fire. And look, eventually they'll all just die. Oh, no, one left. One voidling left. Oh, the fire's pretty OP. Let's get this guy on fire. Join the pack. There we go. So you're just gonna keep them going around in a circle so they keep like lighting each other on fire. Like these two are just... Will this one die? Ah, oh, there's always one left. Always one left. Okay, let's just an enemy with some more health and see what that's like. For example, these voids. See what this is like with their electric. Oh, that sounds pretty good. I think it might have to be a tiny bit more range now. I think the range is maybe a bit too small. It's sort of hard, like I'm, because I want to make two. I keep spelling it wrong. I think I want to make two versions of the Electrify, like a level 1 and a level 2. So I don't want to I don't make the level 1 too good, you know. But it just feels like it needs like a little buff. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's the proc chance? It's 0.6. 0.6 proc chance. If I could just, like, we could do point... Yeah. Alright. The burning is maybe a bit too bad. So ignite. I feel like it's potentially doing a bit too much damage. So it lasts 5 seconds and it just minuses 2 health. But then you can get like other... I feel like it sort of has to be like that. What if I make it 1? What does that... Like, if I make it 1, does that same voidling pack will end up dying from it or not? Let's have a look. Because before, we could light up this pack and they would eventually all die from the burning. So let's see if we can do that same thing. Yes, I don't think that's gonna really matter, like the amount of damage, because they'll just keep lighting each other on fire. Oh, actually, look, we've got 4 left. Before we actually had 1 left. Let's just double check that. I think that's a nicer ratio and we're more happy with. So it's light on fire. I guess don't forget I'm in like a testing facility. So it's like usually when you're actually fighting in the dungeons, it'll be much harder to sort of... Oh no, there we go. We're back down to 1 again. Okay, maybe we just got lucky before. We've got a real build up of Dark Essence here. Might quickly get rid of that. Dark Essence on the ground. The only thing we could do is just like make burning not last as long. I feel like it does need to last a little while though. Like it's 5 seconds currently. Because it also, it puts this ignite on you. So like maybe it's like the hitbox of the ignite's doing. Maybe this is the thing that's doing too much damage. Because it does, yes, also, let's also make that 1 damage. Because this is like the hitbox that like hits other things. I feel like this needs to do more damage to the player though. Aha, I got an idea. So let's have a hitbox for enemy. Oh no, we can't have more than 1. Let's have a hitbox player. What I'm thinking is this one we use for the enemies only, and we get rid of player. And then this one we use for the player only, and we get rid of enemy, and I guess trees. And then the players one, we have a little bit more damage, like 3. Because I want it to be like pretty scary for the player. Like the player really does not want to get lit on fire. So say I ignite that player. Oh, see, I'm not getting damaged at all. Oh, is that because I got God mode on? That'd be why. God, whoops. God, false. I'm just quickly just put up my health. I love the enemies just like dying in the corner over there. There's 1 left. I'm not catching on fire though. Yeah, none of this fire's doing damage to me at all. Right, what's going on here? It's on the player, the mask. It might have been because that change I did. What if I make this do the player again? It might have just been that. Oh, I know why. I actually know exactly why that didn't work. This needs to be on by default. Alright, now let's test. Will the damage numbers for weapons be adjusted? I noticed all the weapons you purchased from the smith sucked compared to the ones I craft. Oh, you're talking about the old game. Yeah. Yeah, it's completely changing. You won't actually be able to purchase any weapons from the blacksmith. You'll be purchasing armor from the blacksmith. And all the weapons have been rebalanced anyway. But yeah, so it will be a fair bit different in the new update. Where's Ben? Oh, that's why I got to disenchant it. Ignite, cool. Oh, give myself some resources. Beautiful. And then let's get voidlings back here. 10 of yous. Now, yeah, there we go. Yeah, see that fire destroyed me. Like, look at my health. That's better. Oh, I don't want to die, actually. I don't want to die. Okay. I managed to just get through anyway. So, like, this is a thing with the burning, right? Like, it's pretty good, and you can just thin out all the enemies so easily. But it will just, like, wreck you. If you get yourself burnt, it just sucks. So I guess that's the thing that I'm trying to sort of balance here. So let's get a little group of these voidlings. And then maybe let's like mix in a couple of other enemies. Like let's get like a couple voids, I reckon. It's like 2 voids. Or 3. Let's pretend we're doing like a little fight. And let's see what it's like. Oh, see, like, just doing that ability and going through all the enemies then just half health me from all that fire. Oh, see, yeah. Man. Like, they're all dying slowly. But you risk everything. Okay, interesting. So now, knowing how difficult that was, let's disenchant this, and let's try that same fight with the electric rune. I'm interested to feel the difference. Okay, so we want let's heal all the way up. We want 3 of them, and then we please don't do that. And then we want voidlings. Cool. Interesting. So like, yeah, that was like, I got damaged way less, right? But it took around the same time to just, it felt like I had to hit them way more. Like that was way more involved. Like that relied on my skill. But then I did take less damage, but it took around the same time to kill the enemies, which I feel like is pretty, off the bat, actually pretty decent balancing as it is. I haven't really tested the Doom very much. There's a couple of... Geez, what's swiftness like on the Glaive? Because Glaive's already quite fast. Damn, look at it go. Oh, what about big weapon on the Glaive? Oh, holographic. That would be insane. Where's holographic? At some point, I will update all these rune icons. Because, like, holographic, like, expanding the scale of this. It's like a blender. What's this like? Look, I'm just untouchable. Oh, I've literally got everything in a permanent stun. Maybe. Man, I think this might be a bit too OP. Like, let's see how many we can spawn in, right? So let's spawn in like 30 voidlings. There we go, 30. Oh no, 40. Let's do 40. Alright, and let's just see. Oh, I think it's just wait. Man, that is insane. I did not expect that to be such an OP combo. I literally just like completely minced 40 voidlings. Like it was nothing. Right. Interesting. Very interesting. Man, that's so OP. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know how to mitigate that. Is its damage? Oh. Oh no. Yeah, that's fine. 30. Because it's got low damage per second. Look at its DPS, 34. And its crit damage is 41. And you look at a spear, for example, 40 and 52. Or you look at like a sword, 40, 48. 28, 42. 35, 57. It's like, it has like really low DPS, but it just churns through everything when you add that ability to it. I wonder what's like with the chain lightning too, because the electricity sort of, you know, rewards fast attack speed weapons because you've got more chances to proc it. So let's... I wonder if we're gonna have to just like turn down the Glaive. I wonder if the Glaive is just overall too OP. Yeah, I think the Glaive might just be too OP, just like full stop. Okay, so let's try out this theory. We just saw how easy it was to churn through those enemies. I was 20 just then. I'll do the same electric enchantment on the sword. I'll heal up before we go in, and I'll spawn 20, and then we'll see what it's like with the sword. I got a feeling it's gonna be nowhere near as easy. Oh, okay, it is still pretty. Yeah, okay, it's not too bad. Cool. It is really hard. Like, if you just round up enemies in Lens Island, it's just like easy mode. But you never really get open spaces like this to do this sort of stuff. And the second you mix in a different kind of enemy, that's when it changes. Like you put like a dozer in the mix or something, and it's... We'll get a couple voids though. Let's put a couple voids in there. Okay. So let's try this Glaive build again. We've got a lot of enemies. I think we've got like 50 voidlings or something. Like, oh, I just insta-died. I couldn't even make my way in there. Oh, man. Okay. Overall, I'm liking... Okay, I'm liking how it's going. What I'm going to do, let's go back up above the world now. I forgot who it was. I was requesting going above ground in this video. Your prayers are answered. We'll go on the above island. I want to have a little look at the burning actual like particle effects on stuff like trees and bushes and stuff, and just make sure they're looking pretty good. So I'm going to do a little pass over the visuals for them now. Cheddar just messaged me, lend the Voidling Blender. Yeah, the Glaive really is a blender, and that's good because that was exactly what I wanted. Like my number one like identifier of the Glaive when I was originally animating it, I was like, I want this to feel like a blender. Like I want you to charge into battle with your big blender. Okay, we're gonna have to enable all of our objects here. This might take a little second. Enable optimized objects. Screen check is a bit much. Yes, but well, like, especially when you're killing like 40 enemies at once, it can get a bit shaky. It is an option you can turn off though. You can turn off screen shake in the menu actually. Okay. Do you have a rough projection date for the update? Rough date. September 10th. I actually haven't said that publicly anywhere. Rough date, September 10th. Just over a month. For 5 weeks. 5 weeks, almost exactly. That's yet to be confirmed, but it will be around then. It'll be around 5 weeks from now when the update goes live, and I'll properly announce this and talk about it properly in in a video. Okay, this is probably going to take a couple minutes because it's basically looping through all the prefabs in the game because it's all optimized. So you can see all the trees, everything are turned off. It's got to loop through everything and turn them all back on. Let's check up on Steam. Oh, thank you. Oh, all right. If you got any questions for me, now's the time to ask while we're waiting for this. Take a couple of minutes. That's okay. I've been getting hella high watching your streams. Yeah. Well, if you do want to play any of the early, Patreon supporters actually do have early access to alpha builds. So there is literally an alpha build like live right now, and we're giving access to the beta tester tier of the Patreon supporters in like the next day or two. So alphas have it right now, betas will have it in just a couple days, and they get to actually like test and try out the update early before it's out. It's full of bugs, and you know it's still all in progress and stuff like that. But then you get to like sort of like actually, you know, give us feedback and help balance things and help test it out, and find bugs and stuff like that if you're interested in that. And just overall, just like play the game early if that's what you're interested in. Otherwise, yeah, it'll be around 5 weeks until it's out for the public. All right, let's get my notes up on the other side here. Yeah, the Chain Lightning and the Ignite, they're definitely like the two most polished of the statuses like of the enchantments. So I'm feeling pretty good of how they're feeling. Do you plan on having hidden riddles and puzzles to discover in the game, like drink a potion and for the next 30 seconds you can see and interact with visible things? That would be really cool, Ink Devil. I would definitely like to add all sorts of stuff like that. It's just like things like that take the most amount of time to create and have like the smallest impact on the game. So you spend like a week working on some tiny little feature that's like this hidden little feature that 99% of the player base don't actually interact with, and it just takes up a lot of time. It's all those little touches that are just like really nice and fun, and I'd like love to add to the game. It all just depends on how we can fit into the development, because we're just such a small team. We don't really have like the luxury to sort of add bits and pieces like that at the current stage of development. So the enchanting table will have like one set of runes like in it learnt already sort of for free. Sort of like the base set of runes that change, like modify like the basic stats of a weapon or armor or whatever you enchant. And then the more special runes, the stuff that give you like the chain lightning, sort of electrify, and the burning effect and stuff. Those runes you will have to purchase from either the druid or the sorcerer. So the druid will be in the second town that's on the Dark Forest Island, and then the sorcerer will live on the desert island. So like the burning will be a rune that you get from the sorcerer on the desert island, and they'll basically have like a table with like all of the rune stones like laid out on the table. And they will be expensive. Like runes will be among the most expensive items to buy in the entire game. But there'll be different sort of tiers of runes. So they'll have some runes a bit cheaper to buy like at the start, and some runes are more expensive. You have to save up for a while to get. And like runes will be like one of the major things that will make it possible to complete a lot of the hardcore dungeons. Like a lot of the hardcore dungeons will be like very, very difficult to do with just a normal weapon. You need like a bit of a damage boost. And that'll like be like a good way to do that. Same with armor. You'll need leveled up armor in order to sort of take on the hardcore dungeons. Cool. All of our stuff is back on. Beautiful. So, where's our player? Here. Let's move you, I guess, just to the beach. Put down an enchanting table. And we'll get a utility box as well. Is fast travel to each island to make buy sell gonna be a thing? There won't be fast travel. However, there will be the whole underground network, like the underground cave system. So there's more than one way to travel now. Like you don't just have to use boats and currents. You can travel underground instead. You can also build underground as well. So in some circumstances, traveling underground to the cave system might actually be quicker. And sometimes, like most of the time, it probably won't be quicker, but sometimes it could be. And you can also freely build down there. So you could just build like a lot of like pathways and sort of highways going through the cave to make it easier to navigate in the future, if you so desire. Why does this utility box never work? Gonna work now? No. Yeah, that one works good enough. Other... Oh, they're not. Ah, screw it. I'll just build an anvil. I'll just do this the manual way. Okay, cool. Ignite. I was going to test Ignite on these other weapons, test this particle effect and some of the visuals a little bit. So building in the caves and such will be just as free range as well. Yeah, correct. You'll be able to build anywhere in the caves, will be just as free range. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. Yeah. So where is the Ignite? I make this way more, like 30. Does that work for trees? Yeah, like, I'm still not 100% about burning. Oh, there's voidlings spawning. It's so weird seeing voidlings, like, outside in the wild. There's not usually voidlings spawning. You have to worry about that. It is really funny. Oh, jeez, there's like a whole pack of them. This is so weird seeing voidlings spawn up here. I've got like a setting on that I shouldn't have on right now. This is just so weird seeing all the boilies like run around the forest. I sort of like it. Like it's cool. Like look at the wall. See, like if they run past a tree, will they burn a tree? Yeah. See, look. I can get the voidlings to just like chop down all the trees for me. Oh, it's insane that you can do this. Come on, burn down the trees. But the sound's very annoying. We're gonna have to update the sounds a little bit. Yeah, I'm still not 100% on just like the burning for trees and plants and stuff. The fact that you can just get a sword and just like hit any tree and then just like sort of light it on fire. Like it's just, I don't know. Burn down the village. Yes, you do still get resources. Like saying that like the fire doesn't do a whole lot of damage to it, right? So it's not really a big deal. And if you want to be close enough to light the tree on fire, you're getting damaged by the fire. Like that's like the whole point of fire. The way that we've designed it is like fire actually has a very big impact. It's very chaotic, but it also just like it does a lot of damage and spreads really quickly, but it just does a lot of damage to you, and most of the time it's not really worth it. It's just like this chaotic element that, you know, isn't just good. I forget. I was gonna really quickly see if I just quickly turn this up. Just want to see which one is related to the trees. I also don't know if this ignite effect is going to change at runtime. I feel like it's maybe not. Let's have a look actually. Yeah, at some point I think it'd be cool to make it so like if trees sort of get burnt, they like lose their leaves and go like a darker color, and then you get like less wood from them, but maybe you get like 1 or 2 coal or something like that. But you'd have to burn them like enough, like you'd basically have to sit there like just like catching it on fire over and over to like fully burn it. Oh yeah, so the large names does... Okay, so it should work. This one can go back to 5. And then the start size. Between 1 and 2. Probably needs like, really needs some like smoke. Different trees burn differently. That is a mean suggestion, yeah. I just want to see if what the changes that is made are going to work. I'd also really like to add like a smoke layer to the particle effect. The particle effects are still like so, in my opinion, they just look shitty because they are just like a placeholder effect. I do want to do like a few more passes over it and like make them look a lot better. But yeah, we do have a system that changes like the particle effect depending on the the kind of thing. Like you actually saw it here in code. It basically looks for the name of the thing that's getting burnt, and if it's like, for example, like a very small enemy, then it plays like a small version of the particle effect, and if it's like a boss or a tree, then it plays the large version of the particle effect. Now that I think of it, this should actually include the troll, the void troll as well. I won't save that just yet. Let's just see if those changes that I just made are going to work. So let's get our sword. Quickly enchant it again. Yeah, I think so. It looks like it's burning more to me. Cool. Yeah, it is working. So let's just destroy that, and let's just doesn't have like a, yeah, cool. It's got looping, cool, and I'm just gonna keep this playing while I test it. Yeah, it's a bit too big now. It's hard. I don't. Yeah. All of this doesn't really matter. I've got an idea. Let's make the start rotation 0, and then the start size, make it 3D, right? Oh no, this is not the start rotation. On 3D start size, yeah, cool. Just 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Let's just give it like a little bit more like verticality. Ugh, that looks gross. Oh, the voidlings are coming now. Oh man, I just got destroyed. Like I just didn't even realize the voidlings all spawned in, and I'm just like got nailed. Oh man, I got all burnt. Yeah, so like the one thing I really don't like about because we're using like the mesh renderer as the thing for the burning, and you can see that like it spawns bits of fires right on like the edges, like around the tips, which I don't like. There's not really too many ways to avoid that, to be completely honest. You know, like the mesh just goes to there, so it's just going to do it. It uses like, that's the mesh that it uses. We could make it use, I wonder if there's an LED that has like less. Yes, even that LED here, I don't know why the rotations are weird, it still has those branches that go out just as much. And like, and it's everything, right? Like it's the leaves as well as the trunk. I wish there was a way to sort of like inset it, like I can inset it, like the vertex, but it doesn't really have that effect. Like for example, like if I've got this little twig here, and like this is the twig, then it's like, if I add any like vertex offset, then it's not going to push it in like that way. It's going to push it like that way, and then it's just going to end up spawning like out here or out here. So it doesn't really help me, it just makes it worse. It's almost like I might just need a mesh. Like I just get some sort of volume like that and just use that as it, because like the mesh itself isn't reliable. It's a shame. It'd be so much more easier if I could do it another way. What programming? C#. All of it's written in C# in Unity. I have to have a think about this, because it's not. I can make a really good looking burning effect for a tree, but the only thing, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this a bit more, and how we want this to look natural. I have to come up with some sort of system, because like, for example, I could just hand make a particle. Like I could just hand make a particle effect that has all of its zones and it's all like perfect and it looks like it's, you know, perfectly burning. But then the second it goes to other trees that are at different heights, then it's going to break down. And it's like, and then we have so many different kinds of trees in Lens Island. It's not even just, you know, there's birch trees like these, and then over here there's dark forest trees, even though it's super laggy, that are like gigantic, you know, like these ones here are huge. So it's like it has to look good for all these different kinds of trees, and like palm trees and everything else. So I gotta find some sort of way to make it automatically sort of generate particles based, like to conform to the size of it, but not look bad. It's something I'm gonna have to take a little bit more time to do, I think. Oh. Alright, I think I'm probably going to end it there, because I'm going to have to work on some of these systems a little bit now to refine the effects and everything a little bit. But yeah, we're currently working on getting a patch ready, or a build ready, for the Patreon beta testers, because we need to get one ready for them in the next couple of days. So the beta tester Patreon tier will have access, basically to this version of the update for the first time. Up until this point, it's just been alpha testers, so alpha testers have access to it right now, and then we just need to get it ready for the beta testers. Well, not testers, by the way. I keep saying testers because it's just stuck in my mind. But just beta access. You just get access to the builds. You don't have to test it if you don't want to. But yeah, so I want to refine these cursed dungeons a little bit. We refined the first cursed dungeon a bit, and I want to go back through some of the second tier dungeons from these dark forest islands and refine them. There's clouds in Lens Island now, by the way. I'll quickly show the clouds before we sign off. But yeah, the things I want to get for this build, we've fixed a bunch of bugs. I want to fix a few more bugs, and then I want to get I want to basically remove most of the enchantments and only add back in the ones that I'm sort of feeling good about. And then, yeah, I need to set up. So I got a lot to set up. We've got a lot to set up for this beta test. There's a lot of work to do. But yeah, we'll just be working hard over the next couple of days to try and get it all done. And then basically over the next couple of weeks, we're going to slowly keep refining the cursed dungeons, adding more and more enchantments into the game, and then working on like more and more, working on like the sort of the whole second half of this update, which is more to like the mid to late game. A lot of stuff you've seen in streams, all the stuff that that alpha tier have access to now is more like early game mechanics of how we changed the start of Lens Island. The late game and mid game is what is really going to change. But yeah, look, there's like beautiful clouds, and doesn't that look nice? Just looks so, it's just like a nice sky, nice clouds, and you can just, that just looks good, you know? It's super laggy, but look, isn't that like a nice scene? The lumberjack working in the background. I should probably be in screenshot mode and not edit mode. This is gonna be laggy because I got like a huge scene loaded in. But we'll chuck on the vidnet. Some ambient occlusion. We'll make the depth of field. Oh, maybe not that tight. Look at that. It's times like that. It's times like this when I just like look at the game and I'm like, man, I'm pretty proud of making this. Like, this looks pretty cool. Oh, let's unpause it, and then we can get the movement. Yeah, so we're at a beautiful sky to Lens Island. I'm just like totally... I don't know, it just looks really pretty. Cool. Alright, I'm going to end the stream there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back Thursday morning, Australian time, Wednesday night for the rest of the world. And we'll probably just be going over more like cursed dungeons, more enchantments. I'll have like a bunch of stuff done in between then that I'll be able to show you all and work over. And yeah. Alright, take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next stream.